All right, let's get into this game here. Let me get into the right game. Boom. All right, so we have Chowde playing against CurrentMob. Chowde is the #1 Xbox player right now on the ladder. Elo of 2005. CurrentMob is like top 80, I think it is. And they're playing as the Inca, and their Elo is 1637. So this is the King of Control. This is actually round 1. So I'm going to do a little series on this. I'm going to probably put them all in one video. So enjoy, sit back, relax. Let's see what we got here. Chowde is playing as the Persians in the south here. Persians have faster working town centers. They have more HP in their town centers. So they're very, very good civ, very good economy. They can get more villagers out. On the other hand, CurrentMob is playing as the Inca. So their houses, they do double. So instead of 5 pop, they do 10 pop. So you can kind of get a nice little economy going because you don't have to build as many houses. Their buildings also cost minus 15% stone, and their military units cost less food. So they can, bang out military units at a more affordable rate. And then once they start building things that use stone, like towers, town centers, castles, pretty much just those 3, they can get them out a little bit cheaper. So they're a very good civ as well. And obviously, CurrentMob knows them because they built one house. Sometimes if you kind of random into Incas, you build 2 houses immediately, not realizing that you only need 1. Or you start building like house walls and you have like 60 population space when you only need 30, early on. So looking at their maps, we're playing on Arabia. The way King of Controller is set up is it's best of 3. So first game is on Arabia. And then next one's on Arena, and then the third one, if it goes to it, is on Mega Random. So this tournament was basically designed to choose who is the best #1 player on Controller. It used to be Faith to Adventure, probably still is Faith to Adventure, but he has since migrated to PC and has not been heard of since. So I'd love to do a video on Faith to Adventure. Faith, if you're watching this, reach out. I've tried to find you, and I cannot. So I'd love to see what you're doing on PC these days, because I know you kind of moved over to there. But so this tournament has a lot of different players. Maybe I can try to get the bracket of the top 20 players or so. There's a few exceptions who didn't join the tournament, but I think for the most part, anyone who wanted to prove that they are the best controller player is in this tournament. So it should be really, really, really good. I'm gonna try to get a video at least up until the final here. Right now we have again round 1, Chowde versus CurrentMob. Now CurrentMob actually won like a play-in game, so this is technically maybe like round 2. I'm not sure. I think it's a round of 16. But CurrentMob beat Kobe Robies, who's a very solid player themselves. So they're no slacker. They had to work to get here. I see Chowde already up 2 villagers from the faster producing town centers. CurrentMob has a little bit of TC idle time, which is not great. They go here taking the chickens. Chickens are a little easier in some ways to get. Because you don't have to push your deer. You can get a little better scouting. And that's exactly what... Ooh, CurrentMob is going ahead and stealing this. So they stole 1 pig, and then this boar... They just hit the boar. They didn't really do anything to the boar. But where are these vills going? These vills are going far away. I thought that they were all going to go attack this scout, but it looks like they're actually moving forward. And that's very early. Chowde actually hasn't clicked up to Feudal Age yet. Is Chowde going for a TC drop? Is he going for a Persian Douche? That's the only thing that really makes sense right now. Okay, let's see. So Persian Douche, if you're not familiar with it, is basically the Persians have the extra HP on their town centers. So if they build a town center, you'll never beat them. And CurrentMob is actually anticipating this. That's why they're building all these house foundations here, so that Chowde can't build a TC. But unfortunately, that didn't work. There's just too much space. Like you just can't really build that many houses that quickly, or walls probably would have been better, but This is really tough to deal with. And this is Chow just flexing right now. I mean, Chow obviously is the favorite. But Persian Douche, basically, you have to try to Vil fight it. You can't try to fight it with your TC. Persian Douche is really, really tough. I've seen this many times. I've had it happen to me a few times. But basically, the strat is put these villagers in the town center, shoot out their town center. Always stay in Dark Age. You're never planning on going to Castle Age. And then once they destroy that TC of their enemy, then wherever the enemy builds another TC, they go and find it and they just do it again. So you'll see they just have enough on wood to build another one, and really not worried too much about resources. They just need to have enough to build town centers, and they'll build villagers. But you can see the HP difference here. You're looking at 4,800 HP for the Persian TC and 2,400 HP. It's down to 1,600 right now. So let's see how CurrentMob reacts to this. Because this is it's not an impossible strategy to beat, but if it comes from a better player, it's really, really hard. Because it just gets very messy, and usually the better players are better at keeping things working and organized, even when things are messy. Like right now, Chowde still only has 18 seconds of idle TC time, so this TC is still building villagers. And they have only 11 workers. But CurrentMob only has 15 workers. Or 15 working, I should say. 19 villagers total. And this CurrentMob, you don't want to build that that tower there. So the problem with this tower is it uses your stone, and CurrentMob only has 94 stone, so they can't rebuild. They can't build another town center. What you really want to do is go on wood. And just make sure you have enough wood to build another town center. But this tower is going to get rushed down by Chowde's vills here. And CurrentMob is not even going to be able to build another town center. So 1 town center versus 0. So these villagers can just go ahead and take this tower down. You know, the tower might do a slight little bit of damage to some of these vills, but Chowde's doing a really good job of running and Vil fighting. This is a flex. This is just a flex of being I'm the better player. I'm going to do this. And it's very... You can tell CurrentMob is a little inexperienced with this kind of a strat. And now Chowde is building palisades around the barracks. We have villagers running away from CurrentMob. He has... I guess he got enough resources to build another town center, but he's down to 19 villagers versus 28. And again, Chowde's town center has been working this whole time. And Chowde is with the villagers, trying to get in to kill these other villagers here. And this barracks, even though it's up, is completely walled in, so you can't get your units if you make any units out. You have to destroy some of these walls. And the villagers are in, and CurrentMob has to run with their vills. So not the game I was expecting first game here. I mean, to be honest, I don't think this is really... Like, again, it's Chowde flexing, but I don't think it really ends the game any faster. Like, if you just go up, make some scouts, and attack, if you're the better player. But we have an archery range going up for CurrentMob. Now, Chowde, I mean, will probably just stay in Dark Age forever. So you only... A couple of archers can do a really, really good job against villagers. There was a bear joining in on the fight. Now, Inca villagers, too, so they get blacksmith upgrades, I'm pretty sure. Right? That's one of their things. Villagers affected by infantry blacksmith. So if you had a blacksmith, you actually could have pretty strong villagers. It's not one of those things people think about a whole lot, but it is technically something. But, I mean, Chowde's economy is really, really good behind all of this. Yeah, so Chowde's done more than enough work Like Chow's going to be able to get up into feudal age right now. So even a handful of archers, which unfortunately CurrentMob doesn't have a lot of resource to make. It needs a lumber camp here. Yeah, lumber camp's coming up. And Chow just found this town center. So Chow, I wonder if Chow's gonna build another town center or just gonna go army. Looks like they're just gonna go army. They're up 12 villagers. So the way CurrentMob should have played this was run your vills, get another town center, try to get to feudal, try to get archers. The tower was not the play. But again, you don't expect it. You certainly don't expect it, you know, right off the rip first round. And these villagers for Chowde, I'm guessing, I don't know where they were. They were in the south here just working, I suppose. Maybe they were getting the berries. But we're going to have archers coming out, probably just archers coming out for Chow. Chow is almost ready to go up to castle age, actually. But we do have some archers out for CurrentMob, so they're not going to go down without a fight. Unfortunately, CurrentMob just does not have any real food economy. It has 2 villagers on these chickens, which fortunately are pretty close here. And adding some farms in. But they're still at 21 vills. They haven't been able to build a vill in a long time since they deleted their first town center, or destroyed their first town center. And Chowde behind here, up to 40 vills versus 22. And skirmishers coming out to deal with these archers for Chowde. Now, Chowde didn't really commit to the Persian Douche. Didn't find this town center fast enough, pretty much. It was a kind of a sneaky town center. Went back towards Chowde's base. Because typically you'd want to build another town center on them. And yeah, this lumber camp is just in the way, so Chowde's vills are gonna go ahead and destroy it. You can see these villagers have to walk all the way around. I do like base swaps, though. I'm a big fan of base swaps. I'm doing this series right now on my Twitch where I'm doing a tower rush with every civ. And I took a little break for this tournament here. But I'm going to get a video out, and it's going to be like an 8-hour video, I think. It's going to be stupid long. But I'm just going to put it out in one video. And I'm just tower rushing with every single civ. And if you do it right, what happens is you end up base swapping a lot. Because especially on certain maps, like once you destroy their base, and then they just think, okay, where else do I go? And then your base is the place to go. And these archers are being chased away. If you have really good micro, these archers could actually take out these skirmishers. But you need to have really good micro, and you're going against the number 1 player on the Xbox ladder, so it's tricky. But Chowde up to 55 vills, CurrentMob up to 27. And, I mean, Chowde has 55 vills, but 10 of them are just, you know, battering down houses and lumber camps, and, you know, they're not really adding to your GDP here. But he's adding farms with those 10 vills. I would not recommend a Persian Douche as a strategy. It can be kind of fun. It can work on lower levels. At higher levels, it tends to only work in bully ball situations here, where you just are the better player. So you'd probably win anyway. Because it is a very risky strategy. It's very fun. I mean, I like having fun, so it's not bad. We have some villagers getting in the mix here. And Chowde has the good game sense to know that he's very far up on villagers. The eco KD is only 2 to 3. So there hasn't been a lot of villager kills, but just the lack of town center, lack of farms, lack of production from CurrentMob really set them back. This blacksmith was trying to be part of the wall for CurrentMob. Probably could have been maybe a little bit more over here. They probably didn't know, actually, that this... I'm going to switch to their fog of war. So they know that that's there, but they might not have known it when they built this. Because it is kind of an aggressive wall to the north. We're probably better off walling over here. But they want to go up to Castle Age. And don't quite have the resources yet, but they should get there pretty soon. Chowde is on the way up to Castle Age right now. Getting horse collar for their farming. And a stable's coming up. I wonder what we're going to see. If we're going to see cav archers or if we're going to see knights. Not that many on gold right now. There's already one stable up here, and we're getting bloodlines, so we're probably going to see knights coming out. Be my guess. With the two stables. But they could also go cav archers. Persians go cav archers pretty often. But with the two stables, they're probably going to go knights. They have good food economy. You know, pretty good farming here. And Chowde is adding farms as he goes. But to be honest, the economy isn't that far apart. CurrentMob is doing a good job of recovering. And they're on the way up to Castle Age. I'm actually impressed with CurrentMob's recovery here. 38 vills versus 49. I mean, 11 vills below the Persians after they Persian Douched you is pretty darn good. Like, Persians should be up almost 11 vills just from, like, their production out of 1 TC. And we have some Eagle Warriors here. These upgrades are the Eagle Scouts. Eagle Warriors are... Eagles are like one of the units that you really get such a huge upgrade by upgrading them, I guess. So we'll see. Once it gets to Castle Age, try to make these Eagle Warriors are the next one, I think. And Knights are coming in. But there are some pikes here. Or spears. Not pikes yet. I'm curious, CurrentMob, what they're going to do. And I'm curious if Chow is going to add a second TC at some point. Or if they're going to focus on just getting these knights out. They have just the 2 stables. Yeah, 2 stable knights. CurrentMob needs to see this. Alright, garrison's the town center. These knights are tanky, though. These are knights with bloodlines and the armor upgrade. And knights getting some vill kills. And more knights are trickling in. These knights are doing some work right here. I mean, CurrentMob is in Castle Age. They just have to keep their villagers working. This wood line is tricky. They are trying to wall. I mean, great fight. You know, GG to CurrentMob. I think that they really gave it their absolute best shot. Honestly, I think if they had more experience with the Persian Douche, that would have been a much closer game. I don't think it would have been a runaway. That's Chowde clicking villagers for the Douche, I guess. Must have been. All right, let's go to game 2. So that was game 1 on Arabia, and I'll get to game 2 set up. All right, we are here for game 2 of the current mob versus Chowde matchup here in King of Controller. So Chowde won the first game, obviously, with the Persian Douche strategy into knights, into GG. And now this game, I don't think we're going to see a Persian Douche. I can almost guarantee that if I was a betting man. But we have CurrentMob playing as the Vietnamese in the south here. They're going ahead. They're taking their hunt, not their hunt. Their their herdables. It's early here. It's not even 8 a.m. yet. And we have Chowde playing as the Sicilians. Now, Sicilians can also do a bit of a dungeon rush kind of a strategy here. That's pretty common for the Sicilians. They start with extra stone. Their farm upgrades give them more food. Soldiers take less bonus damage. So if there's something with bonus damage, they'll do less to them. And they can build dungeons, and they build them faster. So you see dungeon rushes. Maybe that's what Chowde has in mind here. You saw you got a little cheeky in the first match. Now, CurrentMob playing as the Vietnamese. Vietnamese, typically, you see them going archers because their archer units have plus 20% HP. Also, their fire lancers, which are a newer unit that was added recently, they also have more HP. And their eco upgrades cost no wood and research faster. So, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up just because Dark Age on Arena is maybe not the most exciting times. And I don't know if I can fill the space with incredible commentary on these guys pushing in deer. But let's see. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if Chow does something with dungeons here. I have not watched this game. I did not watch it live. So if he does, we'll slow it down. They're building their houses on their wall. You don't see every player do that. For me, I build my houses on the back wall, on the back line here, just to get them out of the way. I guess having an extra layer of defense is the idea there, but I don't know. For me, I find they could get in my way. I'd rather build like other military buildings here. But I'm also not nearly as good of a player as Chowde, so don't take my advice on anything. Also, I feel like you're gonna need if you're gonna build houses, you're gonna need a lot of them to actually build a wall there. We do have the scout forward for Chow. Let's check their... This is what CurrentMob sees. And their scout has already taken some damage. And Aville's coming out to try to help this fight. But it looks like the micro is pretty good from Chowde as far as that goes. And... Scout's coming back in. This villager is spending a lot of time fighting this scout. And this villager... Okay, scout comes in to help. And right now there's less HP on Chowde's scout, I'm pretty sure. I want to check Chowde's line of sight here. Yeah, so Chowde found just the front of the base. And then hasn't really found too many relics. Found one here, two, I guess found 3. And we have Feudal Age coming in. I'm not seeing any villagers moving forward, but we do have Chowde on stone. And Chowde is at 400 stone right now. So this could definitely be dungeons. This could definitely be just saving up for castle. But it's only Feudal Age coming in. So having 3 on stone that early is a little unusual if you're not going to go dungeons. I would think. I don't really play Sicilians a whole lot. We have archers coming up, or archery range coming up for CurrentMob, and a blacksmith coming up for CurrentMob. So I think CurrentMob wanted to just have military units available. They're making some archers right now, just in case there are some villagers coming in with like dungeons or something. But they may have to make sure they scout if you're gonna do that. The Chowde Scouts goes down. That's actually really huge. Now, these villagers are moving forward. Let's go ahead and put it back to regular speed here. Now, these villagers are moving forward. And CurrentMob's scout is right there. And at least one villager is attacking. So, the archer coming out actually is really, really good for CurrentMob. Because, I mean, one archer and one scout should be able to deal with this. The scout's very low HP, though. Oh, and we have a jaguar getting in on the fight. Oh, that's beautiful for CurrentMob. That's exactly what you want. Jaguars are tough. All these new animals are really, really tough. But great work walling themselves in from Chow. That's really tough to do on controller. That's like one of the harder things to do on controller. And I'm curious what Chow's going to do now, because these villagers were obviously coming forward to build a donjon, and they have not been able to. The scout does go down, so it's a little sloppy by CurrentMob. The other thing behind this is you have to look at the idle TC. CurrentMob with 55 second, Chow with 11. But that's a villager down. And I don't know if I don't think he knows where this villager is. He's going forward. And Chowde is up to 800 stone. So 800 stone, hasn't built a donjon. And is on the way up. I think they're going to have to rethink their strategy a little bit. They're going to probably maybe go castle instead. And they are up to castle age, and CurrentMob is not clicked up yet. CurrentMob's close to clicking up, but has not clicked up behind this. The archers, you know, cost some resources here. We have a siege workshop coming up, and I mean, really good. These archers are getting great value. You're a little bit behind because of the idle TC and because of these archer production. But like, if these archers weren't made, right, they cost gold. So if these archers aren't made, you're up probably a minute earlier. But they found this siege workshop. They killed the 2 forward villagers. I mean, that's about as good as you could ever expect to do. And Chowde has decided that he has enough stone at 932. Getting their wood upgrade. They ended up building their siege workshop back. And there's no forward villagers here. And the economy of CurrentMob is looking pretty good. And these farms give them extra food, right? So it doesn't pay off right away, but you're going to save a lot of wood in the long run. So, like, this is, how many farms? 16 farms, and it's given 8,000 food right there. And this is 5 farms and 2,400. I can't do the math on that, but I'm guessing the Vietnamese farms are better. But scorpions are the answer to archers. Scorpions will beat archers every time. And we have a siege tower with villagers in it. Dude, Chowde's a funny. I never watched Chowde before, but man, he's bullying here. I'm curious how he does against a player of his caliber. I don't think he's gonna do any of these cheeky strategies. But so he's got 10 villagers here. I'm guessing they're gonna jump over the wall and build a castle. But it's already walled off in the front. CurrentMob obviously expects something. CurrentMob has enough for a castle, and they're already building one. I mean, building one is good. They don't really know about these villagers coming, but they can expect. Building one is good. I don't love this position of it. If Chowde sees this, he can very easily build his castle a little bit over here. There's still enough space. I guess you don't expect a siege tower. Now, if CurrentMob sends a bunch of more vills. I mean, I guess you don't need more necessarily, but because you started earlier. But this castle's going to go up first. And that's 2 vills dead, 3 vills dead. Castle does go up, but I think that's 4 vills dead. So in terms of villager kills and just overall vill count, CurrentMob is up. CurrentMob is up 2 vills right now. They are kind of taking some vill hits, though. Kind of unnecessarily here, unfortunately. And we have Briton archers coming out and going right back into the castle. So this castle's going to be strong with the archers in it. There's only 3 vills inside of Chowde's castle. And these villagers are stuck here. We have rams coming out. And petards coming out. So let's see what we're gonna get here. I'm guessing the rams are gonna try to make a hole to get the petards to that castle. We do have a mangonel out for mob. And CurrentMob is defending pretty well. Their idle TC time's the same. CurrentMob unfortunately put a few villagers kind of just like in front within castle range here. And is now kind of doing the same with the mangonel. The mangonel can definitely take care of these rams, but the castle's going to kill the mangonel. Oh, that's rough. That's just the level difference. You know, you're talking 1,600 versus a 2,000 elo. Because CurrentMob is like doing all the right things, making all the right units, like playing the right way. It's just little things like that make the difference. And petards are out. Rams are out. And Rat and Archers are not going to do any damage to these rams. And castle down, and now they're going to be able to push. And rams actually are like great counters for mangonels. Like mangonels beat rams, but rams also beat mangonels if they get in close. Is it mangonels versus rams is almost like it's almost like infantry versus archers. Like if the infantry gets in close, they kill the archers. If the infantry don't get in close, the archers kill the infantry. So it just depends on micro and paying attention and not getting caught off guard. Now these rams are moving back. I'm not sure where those. I guess they're just going back to get healed up, get some repairs on them. And yeah, that's just sloppy right there. It's really tough to control on controller. You have the farm there, so your villagers are going to want to go to that farm. But you need to move your farming to the back. Like, Chowde has 10 villager kills, and I'm pretty sure all of them are from his castle. Actually, I can check what the kills are in the castle. 11 kills from the castle. Killed the one mangonel and killed 10 villagers. And Chowde up to 3 TCs behind all of this, too. And going for a 4th TC. I mean, that's a little crazy. 50 vills and 4 TCs right now. And only 11 on farms. So these TCs really can't work. Like, that other TC was probably just because he had the resources. But it's not actually going to be making any villagers out of it. And we have all siege and a couple of sergeants. And good mangonel micro from Chowde. And only these leftover Briton archers and mangonels coming out. Where's the gather point on this? If this mangonel even makes it out. Okay, mangonel can do some work. The 2 sergeants are inside of here. And the siege tower is actually just absorbing the arrows, is all the siege tower is doing. And the sergeants, I think, got killed. I think they jumped out and got killed. I didn't actually see that, but they must have. But this TC is getting absolutely destroyed by the siege. And yeah, the Rat and Archer just can't handle the siege here. And TC down. Chowde has a huge boom going on behind this. Check out the farming. 35 farms. I mean, there's a reason this guy's the #1 player on the ladder. And CurrentMob, I mean, he actually had enough to build like multiple town centers, but just the distraction with the castle and everything just makes that really, really hard. So Chowde is going to go ahead and take this. This is the first round of the King of Controller tournament. I'm going to get another one of his sets right after this. Stay tuned. All right, we are back. So this is actually a semifinal game. Let me get my capture age working here. There we go. So it's actually a semifinal game between Chowde and DBS Elm. I have another video up of DBS Elm playing against Mora Mora, and they won pretty. I wouldn't say easily, but they won pretty handily. Handily is a little different than easily, and so they played really, really well in that game. This is the semifinal. So there was a game before this one, which would have been the quarterfinal, and that was Chowde played Big Koenigs, who is a very good player himself, and Chowde won that. I was not able to get the rec for that. It's not saved, unfortunately. Sometimes it just happens. It's a Microsoft thing, so we're gonna have to skip that game. But the DBS Elm versus Chowde game should be very good. Chowde is playing as the Britons in the purple up in the north here. This is on Arabia. And we have DBS Elm playing as the Japanese. So Japanese, I would expect man-at-arms rush, very possibly. They seem to do that almost every game, at a high level at least. DBS Elm is number 5 on the ranked ladder for Xbox or controller, and 1936 ELO, and DBS Chowde is 2005 ELO. So I'm sure they've played each other before. I mean, not that many players at that level. I didn't look up to see if they have any games. But this is Arabia. There are deer now instead of the chickens. So you can push the deer in. A little less scouting, a little more deer pushing. Looks like Chowde already pushed in. Maybe there's only 2 deer. Yeah, I'm not seeing any more. No, they're way out here. Jeez. That is some far looking deer. But Britons, let's take a look at their bonuses here. So shepherds work faster, so you get a little bit faster food and more food because the decay is a little bit offset by the faster taking of it. Town centers are cheaper. I think for me that's like the big Briton bonus. Like once you get to Castle Age, you can just bang out town centers so easily and get your eco super high. And then what they're kind of known for is their extra range on their archer line. So longbow and archers have really good range. They also have the unique tech, Yeoman. I'm not sure you're supposed to say that, but that gives you more range as well and more attack. So more attack on the tower actually, and more range on the archers. And then Japanese, let's take a look at their bonuses real quick. Where are your bonuses? There you are. So cheaper mills and lumber camps, less wood to make them, so you get a little bit of a early boost from that for sure. Infantry attacking faster, that's why they go man-at-arms often a lot. And then, of course, they get samurai, if they ever get there. Interesting that both of these civs have trebuchet bonuses, so it's their gold castle tech. So they're probably not going to get it. I mean, no one, these games don't usually go that long, but if they do, that's kind of interesting because the Japanese get to pack and unpack faster, and then you have Warwolf. Warwolf trebs are awesome from the Britons. Warwolf trebs are basically, they do blast damage and are more accurate, so like you're always hitting whatever it is that you're shooting at. Maybe not always. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but it's pretty darn close. So let's see how this plays out. If you look at the bases on Arabia, very good base, I would say, for DBS Elm over here. So we got, these berries are basically on the wood line. You have a back wood line here, nice. You have this back gold here. Forward stone sometimes can get you in trouble, but it happens. Much worse base for Chowde here. Berries are more exposed. They're not on wood lines. You can't just, tower. You can't wall them both in at the same time. They're not taking the berries yet, but they will. Kind of a forward gold and a forward stone. And then the other gold, I guess this is their other gold back here. It's on the outside of their wood line. And this is honestly one of the worst bases I can think of for Chowde. So we'll see how they do. The only nice thing is, if you do get to Castle Age quick, you can make those extra town centers pretty easily and affordably as the Britons. And we're going to have a barracks coming up, and we have some villagers on stone, so definitely going to be a man-at-arms drush, or a drush into man-at-arms, I would imagine. The barracks is up. I'm not seeing any units being made out of it yet, so I usually want to get that timing as fast as possible. I think they're waiting on a little bit of food. And there they go. Now the militia are being made. But to counter that, Chowde went up on 17 vills. Elm went up on 19 vills. So that's kind of interesting. The 17 vills is super, super fast. And we're going to have archers from Chowde. Now, this villager is actually kind of I like that. Kind of locked in right there. It's not every game that you can do that, but when you can do that, it's kind of nice, especially if you're not going up against archers. If you're going up against archers, that's like a disaster sometimes. But double archery range is coming up from Chowde here. Yeah, so Chow did not mess around the first game, or I should say did mess around the first game, because they were Persian douching and they were using the thing that picks people over. The siege tower that send the vills behind the wall. That was pretty cool. And I mean, Chowde very, very accurately predicted this man-at-arms rush. That's why he kind of put his buildings where he did. The gold is actually, like, yeah, you have the one villager in there that's nice and safe and working, but this gold mine is actually in a terrible spot, just because these villagers have to kind of walk a lot to get there. But archers are here to defend this man-at-arms rush. Japanese man-at-arms are very, very tough. Walls are coming up, though. Kind of funneling these man-at-arms right into the town center, so that's very, very good. And one archer down, though. Okay. I mean, just based on kind of this layout here, I think these man-at-arms might be able to get some archer kills, but I don't see them being able to get too much villager damage here. But let's give them some time to get their base set up. Elm has a full walls coming up. Not too difficult to wall. Need one more wall over here. And I'm not sure what their scouting's like, but maybe one more wall over here. If not, it looks like they might just go to like the back here, but actually this would be a much better place to wall. It's tough to scout and push deer and do everything else you have to do. These archers are not, are moving forward, so if these man-at-arms can get through somehow, but there's more walls going up behind this one, so I think they're going to be okay. These archers are moving forward. I kind of like that play, but they are going to find full walls once they get there. And the scout is dead, so they're not going to have any more scouting. And these man-at-arms back off for now. And more archers moving forward. And walls are almost up. A little better scouting. They could have walled this a little bit more efficiently, but we do have some nice skirmishers on defense here. I like being critical of high-level players. You know, it just makes me feel good. But these guys would destroy me in like 30 seconds. But, I mean, as you see, like, sometimes this game, a lot of it comes down to, on Xbox at least, it comes down to, like, speed and skill as much as it does, like, game knowledge and just doing the right thing. You know, so sometimes, like you can do the wrong thing, but do it quickly and do it well, and that'll put you at an advantage. And these archers are coming through. These skirmishers are here to defend. 4 skirmishers. Oh, there's a hole in the wall, though. You've got to figure that out. 4 skirmishers versus 4 archers, and now 3 archers. Now 2 archers. So skirmishers doing a very good job. Man-at-arms, at the meantime, are still trying to get in here. I mean, what I like about this for Elm is it's not an overreaction from Elm. Didn't make too many man-at-arms, just enough to kind of put pressure. And then these villagers have to repair. So a lot of repair villagers. Archers should clear this up. I'm not sure if Elm is paying attention to this or not. But they might be kind of microing over here. Now, these are all the skirmishers that Elm has. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you micro well, you can take out these skirms. That was great micro from Chowde. And DBS Elm is not making a ton of skirmishers. Only has the 2 skirmishers right now. And it's making another one. Also, looks like they had a little bit of idle TC behind that, but so did Chowde, so it's not the end of the world. They are full wall. The archers, getting through the walls is not going to be easy. But there's a lot of archers coming forward. Chowde's kind of just probing around this base, see if there's any areas where they can attack, and they're going to find this wood line here in a second. And let's see if they patrol them in. Now, Chowde found that wood line, so again, if they had a wall here and they had a wall here, they'd have a lot safer wood lines. They could even go to the back. But again, just lack of scouting, didn't know that they had that there. Well, they do have the skirmishers here to defend. Man-at-Arms all went down to those archers before. So now it's just a matter, they're both going to try to get to Castle Age without over-investing. 12 archers right now from Chowde. And Viscount's even at 36. And no villager kills. It's all been military. And Chowde is on the way up to Castle Age. Yeah, I mean, the one thing so Chowde, everything he built used wood and gold, whereas everything that Elm built used food and gold, or food and wood. So the advantage is to the archer player here in terms of timing to getting up to the next stage. And now Elm is gonna get caught off guard once Castle Age comes in for Chowde, because Elm is still building skirmishers and does not have anywhere near enough resources to get to Castle Age. They also, a market would probably really help them. They have 900 gold, so a little bit too much on gold, not enough on food, not enough on wood in comparison. And they just figured that out. They're building a market. Yeah, but Castle Age is going to come in very quickly for Chowde. I'm guessing Chowde is going to send some villagers forward and build some forward siege. That'd be my guess. But again, they are Briton, so they could just go ahead and build more town centers for cheap. Looks like they sold their stone, though. And now Elm is heading up to Castle Age. It's going to be about 2 minutes behind Chowde. So the question is, what can Chowde do in these 2 minutes that can really get them the advantage? They're getting crossbow right now. They're getting bodkin right now. So it's going to be really, really strong archers. They have super range. And you're getting the range on these guys is huge. I forgot how to turn it on and off. You can see the range. There's little things in Capture H, but I'll figure it out another time. And archers are in. That's gonna be tricky. No ballistics yet, so it comes down to micro. Skirmishers have a big advantage with their damage bonus, but still the numbers are in Chowde's favor for sure. And tower going, I'm not sure if that tower is really gonna push back these archers that much. I mean, it will. At least protect that gold. But I think those archers are gonna be able to get some kills, though. And 2 vill kills for Chowde. And the vill count is even right now. So now these archers are trapped in here. I want to see what Chowde's next move is going to be, though. Getting University for ballistics. I'll say they're going to add town centers or they're going to build some forward siege. I think that's going to be the next move. Yeah, and the space on the wood lines is really tough for Elm. Elm is getting bodkin, or got bodkin, and is getting elite skirmisher. So Elm very much on defense here. Japanese don't really have any bonuses that he's using right now as far as military goes. And great micro, great micro from Chowde. That's actually like PC level micro right there. Like that's really impressive. And just wow, just like that, Chowde quits. You could say that was a little bit early. I would say that's a little bit early. But I mean, the writing is somewhat on the wall, you know, in some ways, just with the archers in there. But that's game one. I can get into game two, I think, really quickly, so I'm not even going to stop it here. Let's give the win to Chowde. Let's go ahead and find our arena. All right, let that load up. Yeah, I think that that L maybe quit a little bit early there, but you know, Chowde was definitely in the driver's seat. All right, so now we have arena. Elm playing as the Teutons and Chowde playing as the Mongols. Elm is in the south here, and Chowde is in the north. Chowde's always going purple. So Mongols, check the other bonuses here. So hunters work faster, cav archers attack faster, light horsemen plus 20, plus 30 HP, and castle/imperial age. And of course they have Mangudai is their main unit that if they get into, they're really strong. So I mean, Mongols, you usually see them going scouts into cav archers. That's like a lot of times that's what you see. And then the Teutons have cheaper farms. They have more garrison capacity in their town centers, so you can keep your villagers alive if you're being attacked a little bit. Barracks and stable units +1 and +2 melee armor and castle and imp. And their monks have a bigger healing range. Murder holes and herbal medicine are free as well. So, I mean, their big thing is, you know, they have great economy. They have cheap farms. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to put this on 2x speed just until we get into a little bit of action here. As far as the map goes, so you always want to see, like, if there's forward stone on one side, castle drop becomes very tricky. So it looks like the Teutons have forward stone and the Mongols. Chowde has more of a back stone, but does have 2 forward golds, though. At least Elm has a back gold here, it's a little bit safer. But we saw, at least on Arabia, we saw Chowde put in a lot of pressure early. And let's see what we see here. Chowde with the houses right on the wall. That's the Chowde thing. Okay, so this is where I build my house. It looks like Elm actually got housed and had to kind of force that one up. 15 seconds vital TC. That's why they built it with 3 vills. So a little bit of a mistake. You know, in a semifinal game, you don't want to make mistakes, for sure. Chowde 4 on wood. Elm 3 on wood. I'm not sure what the like the meta is. It seems like a lot of people are going 4 on wood and going up at like 26, 27. Let's see what these guys do. More on wood for Chowde here. And I don't see chicken, so this must have been hunt on here. So that's another Mongol bonus that could have helped him out. Elm builds his walls one away from the, or his house is one away from the wall. Leaves a little space, just for, you know, why not, I guess. Mining camp going up for Elm. And Elm clicked up first at 23 vills. Chowde clicked up slightly later at 24 vills. Elm did miss out on almost the whole villager from a little bit of being housed. So that might explain the click up at 23. 23 is, I click up at 23, but I'm not a good player. So 23 is a little bit early. Let's see if either one's on stone. No one's on stone. And now both are in feudal age. And it looks like typical fast castle going up from Elm here. And looks like we have a blacksmith and a market, so typical fast castle for Chowde. So nothing kind of unusual yet. Like these Arctic wolves out here. I guess that's snow on the ground, right? So I guess it's cold enough for Arctic wolves. These foxes are cool. They give you 35 gold just for eating them. And castle's up for bold almost the same time. And let's see. I think we're gonna see a boom from both of them. I think we're gonna see town centers going up. Definitely from Chowde. Chowde's sitting on 800 wood. Elm is sitting on 200 wood, and actually less because they just built a bunch of farms. So I think last time on Arena we saw Chowde get 4 town centers up very, very quickly before they even had enough farms to support that. So let's see what they do here. Yep, they're going for right off the rip, 4 town centers. I have not watched this game. I did not expect that. So that's like a super boom. That's why they had so much on wood here. I'm going to keep it at 2x speed because I think this is going to be a boom from Chowde for sure. Elm is up. Elm is not making any more town centers. Is right now. Second one coming up. So I would be curious to let's put on regular speed here. I'd be curious to have a conversation with someone who might know why build 4 town centers when you don't have you have 7 on food, right? So 4 town centers you can't produce from 4 town centers. So why build 4 town centers so early as opposed to like literally anything else? Like build a monastery and get monks out there. Get upgrades, like anything else. You know, like you can't actually support 4 town centers yet. So I'm just really curious. I mean, Chowde is you know #1 on the ladder, so they know what they're doing. So I would imagine like this town center just made a ville, now it's sitting idle. So we have 2 town centers actually making vills, and 2 that are sitting idle. Now all 4 are making vills. And this one makes a vill, and I mean, it's like you have to really pay attention to these. So basically, what I'm looking at is like there's like an offset of all of these, right? So this town center was idle for a second. And then as soon as they got to 50 wood, went ahead and built the ville. So I mean, it's pretty close. Like I guess it's actually pretty close to all of them working at the same time. And now they're at 20 farms, so now that should be right around the amount you need to keep them all working at all times. But you really have to. So like this is high level play, I guess, because you have to click each one. Like this one right here wasn't building a ville, but as soon as it got to the food that it needed, built a ville. So it's interesting to me. It's inefficient for a little while. It's a lot more work, very like in the beginning, but it very quickly gets efficient. But we do have relics coming in on the back end of this for Elm, and now Chowde with those town centers working is already up 20 villagers, and no pressure from Elm to put an end to it. So. I mean, my thought here is if you're going to go 2 town centers, you need to be attacking. If you go 3 town centers, you know, trying to match a boom is probably okay. But if you're just going 2 town centers, I don't think that's enough. That's not enough to catch up here. And, I mean, that's a 23 vil difference already. And it's just not being punished. I mean, the only punishment on it is just getting the relics. There's 4 relics in here, and the other one I think is on its way back. I'm not sure where the other relic is, but it's got to be... Yeah, it's right here. So Elm, you can see in the corner here. So Elm has 300 gold from those relics, and that'll just keep coming in forever, right? But over here, you can get a lot more gold if you have a lot more villagers. So up 35 vills is Chowde. And I mean, these TCs are working. That's so much work to have to click each individual town center and just keep building vills. But I guess you're not really focused on much else because you're not getting attacked and you're not attacking. And if you're Elm, I mean, if you look at the score, you're about the same. Like, there's not a big difference in score. 2,900, 2,800. So there's probably no way to know that you're behind almost 30 villagers at this point. But letting the better player sit back and boom, I don't like that as a strategical option here. You can see what like the ultimate walling for Chowde is. And the best way to punish this, if you castle drop early, tower rush. We have a defensive castle going up for Chowde right now. And Elm has a third TC. Yeah, Elm has 3 TCs. And they're definitely working. But definitely a lot of booming, not a lot of attacking yet. And no one has moved out. We have a couple villagers coming out here. Walling off over here. Interesting.
Hey, sir.
And that villager is about a half health, so not too bad. And this castle is up. And one scout down. The scout is going to run right into the spear. Now, this is an ambitious walling, but I guess if your opponent hasn't come out with anything yet. But now we have some Mangudai. Mangudai are like super cav archers. Yeah, that's an ambitious wall, and there's no army defending it. This is like a really... For high-level play, this is really weird. Like, the wall is weird, and neither team attacking is weird. But now there's a handful of Mangudai, and we have a forward castle coming. And Elm's going to see that for sure. And Elm is on the way to Imp, and Chowde is on the way to Imp. And Elm does not have enough stone for a castle, so this is going to get bad real fast if they can't deny this castle, which I don't think they're going to be able to. Yeah, castle's definitely going up. There was a barracks going up here, which is not going to go up, probably. It's almost like Elm didn't notice this castle. Kept building the barracks, kept moving the siege over. Got a villager kill. And vill count's actually evening out. It looks like Elm actually must have bought some stone to build his castle. And Imp is in for both. The trebuchet is out already from Chowde. And I like this masonry coming in for Elm. Masonry's going to give you a little bit more HP on your buildings there, so... Second castle coming up, though. And these rams could actually do work because this castle is built in a way these rams can get there. Man, Do Mangudai have like a bonus against rams or something? Because they just like shredded that ram. You usually don't see archer units shredding rams. No ram bonus, so I don't know. There's a couple of trebs out on defense here from Elm. They're repairing that castle. I think that's 4 trebs out though for Chowde. Chowde getting Thumbring and now getting masonry as well. Thumbring for the Mangudai. And 4 trebs are out for Elm right now. And siege engineers coming in for Chow. Siege engineers and hoardings. Hoardings gives you extra HP on the castles, and siege engineers gives your trebs more attack. And that's it. They're calling it. So that was the #1 player on Xbox, and I'm gonna let you in on the finals. Actually, doesn't happen because Turtle Tank was scheduled to fight Chowde in the finals, and then there was some issue with the draft, and then Turtle Tank decided it was better to just not play and give Chowde the win here. So Chowde officially, congratulations, is the #1 Xbox player, #1 controller player, not just Xbox. There's PC players who are fighting for that spot now as well, and great showing. I mean, never really got challenged. I didn't see the Koenig's game, so I don't know if there was more of a challenge there. But if there was, I guess I'll never find out because there's no footage of it to look at. There might have been someone who streamed it. I could find a stream for it. Maybe I can see if they'll let me post it on here because I'm in a good game. But congratulations, Chowde, for your dominant performance here. No one seems to be able to step up and beat you. So you are the #1 controller player. Congratulations. I'll catch you guys later. Next video. See ya.